All right, it's your boy JS1 and Supplier. We are back, of course, because we are in y'all faces like 2, 3, 4 times a week. Real reviews completely on deck today. I am honored and privileged to be here with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Lingo, Legacy Lingo. You know what I'm saying? As always, and even more honored and pleasure to have somebody whose hands, face, and body were intricately connected to one of my favorite films of 2024. You know what I mean? Samuels S. Franklin of the Milli Vanilli movie documentary creation. Let me just say it like that. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
Man, I am blessed. I am blessed. Where are you coming from? Where is your location right now? Are you in a secret location? Can you tell us? Or
I mean, first of all, before I start, I want to say I'm honored to be here with you guys. I really enjoy what you do, and I just had to say something. You guys,
hey.
You can hear reviews from all over the world or from this person or that person, but when it's your people that's, bigging you up and giving respect to the work that you've done, it means everything,
Word.
So yeah.
Yo,
so I'm here in the Bat Cave.
Okay.
I'm here in Berlin. It's 5 in the evening, and my time, and I'm fresh off the train. I had a concert to do last night, and then I traveled this way. So I am very excited to be here for the interview. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. So you are a musician and you are an actor?
That's correct. I sing. My first love was playing drums, and first impressions are a thing. When people see that you are an actor, they don't believe you can sing or be a musician. When people see you as a singer, they don't believe you can do the other thing. So I get it all the time. Like when they saw me in the movie, it was like, "Oh, you play music too?" Like, yeah, that's my first love. I grew up in the church, on the pew. You know what I mean? So, the church is the biggest critic you can have. If you want to be a drummer, or organist, a singer, there's 5 other people waiting to take your spot, and that's for free. And there's an audience full of people that are like, "Okay, what you got?" And you really have to show up.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yo,
yes,
that's crazy. That's crazy. So you were born and raised in Berlin?
No. Born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, not too far from the Montgomery Brawl. I was just right down the road. And
born in the red clay South. Shout out to you.
That's right. Roll Tide.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Big time.
It's funny you mentioned that the music was your first love, because I saw on your IMDb you was credited for a couple episodes on The Voice Germany, and I was wondering I know that's off track for what we brought you on for, but now I got to ask, like, what was your role in that on The Voice? How were you interacting with the show?
Well, I was a contestant back in 2022, and some of my friends convinced me to take it on. Actually, one of the pop stars here in Germany that I work with, as her musical director, she was one of the judges in the jury. And I wrestled with going on the show because I knew she was in that capacity. And all of my friends are like, ask her to help you get on and all of this good stuff. But anybody knowing me, I mean, I'm not ashamed to call in a favor too when I need it. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it on my own. So I started the process from zero. And next thing you know, I'm on that stage in front of those judges. And turns out that the pop star that I'm working with, her name is Yvonne Catterfeld, she wasn't even the judge that season. So I stressed myself out for nothing, but I made it to that point, and it was quite an experience. And to everyone's surprise, I'm coming back this year, 2 years later, in a different capacity.
Okay.
By the time this interview comes out, the cat will be out of the bag, but I'm a part of the talent jury this year. So a part of some of the alumni of past seasons that have been in that hot seat. We get to now vote to see who stays and who goes.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's big. See, Milli Vanilli still working for you, baby.
Bruh, you talking about a gravy train. I'm gonna ride this for the next 20 years.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Right. I love
You talking about stretching them 15 seconds?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put an hour in 20 minutes. Man. So I want to start back from the beginning on the acting side. All right,
yes,
so
sir.
you know, as a kid, I'm assuming that you were a big movie buff or like a big television fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it like? Because you and I the same age. I saw it on your page. I was like, oh, all right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I started way back when. And if I tell people what film got me inspired to become an actor, they wouldn't even believe me. Because, you know, they say black don't crack, and a lot of people don't believe you're as old as you are, but I am. And you know what movie came on every Easter, like clockwork, every year. My mama sat us down and made us watch it. It was the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston.
That was the first thing that came to my mind, but I was like, nah, he's not talking about 10 Commandments. So I was like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about?
1956, Charlton Heston, Yul Brynner, Ann Baxter, Edward G. Robinson playing Dayne. Come on.
Man, you took it back. That's what, all right. So what character was it that made you go, all right, yeah, I can take this to another level. You know, I can knock it out the park.
Well, you know, the first character I fell in love with was Yul Brynner playing Ramses because he was very overt, very powerful character. But then by the end of the film, the subtlety and the how do I put this? There's Edward G. Robinson just had a swag to him, a subtext to him. He could say one thing and mean another, just smooth like a snake, talking to you. And yeah, he took over the film at the end for me, so he kind of stole the moment. You know, you always have the top actors, but sometimes you got a scene stealer that just comes in and what Sam Jackson says. He says when he comes on the screen, people are excited to see him there, and when he leaves the screen, people want to follow him. And that's how I was with Edward G. Robinson, man. I hung on every word he said and every scene he had. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. So at that young age, your mind was open to even the concept of acting, because to me, I felt like the big screen was so big that I could never see myself in it, if that makes sense. So, but for you to feel that connection so much to make you, you know what I mean, at a young age, man, that's amazing. So what happens after that? Once that urge hits you, when is the first time you approach, you know, was it in school, elementary school, high school? Like, where did you start acting?
First of all, when that inspiration hits you as a child, you're more susceptible to believing that anything is possible, right? I can remember 3 years old looking at that television screen, wishing I lived on the other side of it. It was a world to me where anything was possible. And then you grow up and life hits you in the face, and you feel like the distance between you and being on that screen is so wide and so impossible. And you start asking yourself, well, how can I even get started in this? I don't even know. And so, like a lot of us, we get caught up in what makes us money, right? Because we have to survive and we have to earn a living. Music was that thing I could do very easily. It started making me money. I started touring the country as early as 17 years old. And then so the original dream kind of got away from me. And then some years ago, I believe it was 2016. A girlfriend of mine, she said, yeah, all these things, great things happen to you, but you don't seem completely fulfilled. What is it you really want to do with your life? I said, I want to act. I want to be an actor. She said, well, act. And I said, okay, it's not that simple. I'm just not going to walk into Hollywood and you're the one we've been waiting for all this time. Like, it's not, it's not like that. It's him, you know? And she said, who do you know that has even a little bit to do with that world. And that was the thread, that was the first step that got me going. 2 weeks later, I found myself in a photo shoot for a commercial agency and being signed to them. And then they say, hey, well, don't worry, we'll get you started. Sometimes it's who you know, and that's how I got in. And they say, don't worry, out of every 100 auditions you get, you might get one. My first audition was for a commercial, I won't say which company, landed that audition. But I'll tell you why I landed that audition. It's not because I'm such a great actor. It's because I have a tendency to do some insane things when I really want something. And so I did something very insane to channel the character and to make an impression. Because even if you don't get the job in acting, they say don't book the job, don't book the room. So at least they remember you. So when something you're right for comes along, you have a chance at that. Did something crazy, and the casting director called me up and said, "You got the job. You were so crazy that we had to give you the job." We laughed for about an hour before you even got started. You know, so that's when it started becoming real to me. It started becoming more tangible. You know, something you can really touch, and then it becomes a drug of sorts. You have your first taste of being on set, and I call this like creative bubble, collaborating with fellow actors to create this special something, which is the most fulfilling part, not the movie premieres, not all of that, the creative process. And then you say, hey, I want to feel this again and again. So yeah.
I love that. I love the way you answer questions, sir.
Yes. And as you're answering questions, you're checking off other questions that I did have. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, right, I'm sorry. I talked
no,
too
you're
much.
good. No, you're giving us everything we want in this interview. That's what I'm saying.
Like, almost you were media trained. Like, you know, yeah, that's great. All right, so you get on this journey. Now, I want to get into, because I'm building up to the Milli Vanilli thing. Don't get it twisted. But, bruh, I laughed so hard looking at the trailer for, what is it, Almost Fly or Almost Almost. Bruh, like that is hilarious. That is such a hilarious concept. Now I don't speak German, so I don't exactly know what was going on. But first of all, is there an English dub that we can get our hands on? And how did you get involved in that?
Well, it's currently running on Netflix. I don't know if it's hit Netflix America, but it's on
not
Netflix.
Yet. I was looking
not
for
yet,
it, but not yet.
Okay. Yet. We started off with HBO, and then we moved HBO Max, and we moved over to that's when it was in America. But then we moved over to Netflix, and just to give you a little bit about that, how I even came into that, and I'll try to keep this story short. This 2020. Actually crossed over into 2021. I'm at home with my family because I was out here in Europe when the pandemic hit, just after a film festival I was attending. And I needed to be with my family because the pandemic, if it taught you anything, the sense of family and community is we needed more than ever, right?
Right.
So, when I call my big sister, her name is Njie, when I call her, it's like, come on. It's like to have those family members that say, hey, just come. Hey, when the world gets too big for you, come on, we got you. Went down there and went through the pandemic with my family. In early 2021, I got a call from my agent, a sister, by the way. Her name is Caprice Crawford, here in Berlin. And she called me about an audition for this show. I do the audition for the show. Very excited about it. And then, let me keep it a little short. Because then I can start talking about all the things God did for me to even make that thing happen, and that would be a long conversation.
Okay.
But he really opened some doors for me to make everything happen for me to be able to do it. And after I got finished with the audition, I just thanked God and packed up my bags because they needed to shoot in Berlin. for about 4 months. Packed up my bags as if I already had it. Never did that before, but I just knew. And next thing I know, I was on a plane. I got the job. I'm on the plane headed here, and my whole life changed from that moment. And this series, just to give you a little bit on it, it's loosely based on a true story. There are some German rappers here in Germany. They're called the Fantastischen Vier, right? And they wander onto the army base, and there's some soldiers. There's some soldiers on base, but they also do what they do. So they're rapping, they're doing little shows on the army base, that kind of thing. And the Americans had a way when some came over and served here in Germany, they had an influence on the young people here, which had an influence on culture. And the series follows these three boys that went through this experience, but they discover, hey, we don't know enough English to rap in English. So they decide, okay, we're just going to rap in our mother tongue, German. And then it just takes off from there, and you follow this coming of age story where they start from infants, so to speak, in this music business, and then they rise to fame. And my role on that show was every Black stereotype you ever wanted to name. I'm telling you, hey, they say you got to do certain roles to kind of get your feet wet in the business and all of that. I was a soldier, a musician after the army. I had a drug problem. I abandoned my family when my child was just real little. My son comes looking for me years later. It was all the stereotypes, you know? And so once we get a English translation or overdub for that, I really would like it if you guys had a look at that series. Really
absolutely.
Man, I can't wait. When I tell you I was laughing, I was really laughing at that trailer, and I was like, bro, this is something I want to watch. So like, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I didn't get to see too much of you in the trailer, but I was like, I can't. I know he's gonna come in here and it's gonna set a tone. So I can't wait. And now that I know that you all have stereotypes, this is gonna be crazy.
I'm in there somewhere. I'm in there.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. So is this the first time you're on a real like because this is a television production? Commercials have their sets and they got their little stuff, but film is different. Is this your first time working on a real set, and do you have like your own trailer? Like give us tell us your experience.
Well, I tell you, starting off in commercials, it's a lot different from TV acting, and TV acting is a lot different level. Film acting is just a whole different level. So when you're starting off in the commercial castings, you are accommodated to a certain extent. The acting doesn't have to be so.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're just doing a commercial. A lot of commercials are done without even any dialogue. It's just this ice cream tastes good, and there's an overdub of a guy just plugging the product that you're representing. So then you think, okay, when I go into TV, I'm gonna take that same level of acting into the television production. No. It's a whole different level. And the accommodations are a little bit more, but it's really not about the accommodations so much. It's more about the acting. It's more about the team, the crew, the directors. Everything is just a different level. So you got to step your game up. But I've always been one, even in the music world. A lot of people get nervous on stage or nervous at this. Me, the bigger the crowd, hey, this is my home. I'm here. I'm going to give you the bigger performance, because as a kid, trying to make mama and sisters and brothers laugh and that kind of thing like that, you got a lot of joy out of that. And it does something with you. So to make a whole room or stadium full of people leave home a little bit different than they did when they came in. For 2 hours, they get to forget about their problems, and you make them laugh. That's everything to me. So as the level stepped up, I knew I had to step up my game. And when I got to the Girl You Know It's True set, First of all, I got a friend over here. We call him Uncle Alvin. He's a bass player. Was in the army, and he was like, he had me on the phone. I was telling him about the project. I'm like, you know, you messing with the big dogs now. And then he began to tell me who these people were that I was about to work with. And man, when I got to that set, everything was just on the top level, the top level, well, as far as I had ever seen. So it was it was a big difference. But the creativity, how do I put this, is the same. Like you create this character, you create this person, you become that person, you're engulfed in this world, and all of a sudden, to me, I'm back in that living room trying to make my mom or my sisters laugh or move some emotion in them. So I have a way of making this big world out here very small for myself, so I can, because sometimes it gets too big. On the Almost Fly set, I sit down on a lunch break, I look around, and if you look around and you just come out of because you're very focused, you come out and you look around and everybody's in these 70s and 80s costumes, and you just, oh my God, you go into shock. Oh, you're living inside the TV like you had this imagination when I had it at 3 years old. So The Girl You Know Is True set was big, but yeah, the players, the actors, the director, everybody had to do with this film was so giving. There was no egos on this set. That was only a collaborative effort and everybody trying to help everybody, no matter how important you were to the film, whether you had one day on the call sheet or whether you had the entirety of the film production. Everybody pulled together to make this a success, because it's a legendary story. It's a German American world legendary story, so it takes all of us to tell it.
Yeah, it was definitely overwhelming for me watching it, because Milli Vanilli was one of my favorite bands when I was a kid. Like, I used to play that tape every and like I played that tape until it popped. You know what I'm saying? I cried at the slow songs, I danced at the fast songs. So it meant so much to me. And even so, when their fall from grace inevitably happened, I didn't care as much as the rest of the world. I mean, everybody had their little emotions about it, but I think I was too young to really.
You were too young to
really understand. You know what I mean? The only thing I was like, oh, all right, so the news thing, when we gonna get another album? I don't really care about all this stuff. So, like, you know what I mean? But so you grow up and it becomes, y'all know how we are. We grown. It just becomes a back part of your life. It's just like, all right, it was a memory of something happened. But when I first saw the first trailer for it, I immediately was like, oh, this is the perfect story. Like, this is something I don't know nothing about. It was something that had it was a special moment for me. And I was like, I've got to see this. And I thought it was coming out in theaters. And it was just so weird that one day it just popped up in my Google Play, and I immediately hit him. I was like, yo, we've got to do this. But he's like, yo, I'm down. Let's get it. You know what I mean? So like, it was definitely a special thing. So I'm going to let my guy take over, because I know he's got a couple of particular questions pertaining to it, and then I'll throw in my stuff after.
All right, cool.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us and be on the show. We really appreciate it. Love this opportunity to talk to talented people.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So one of the questions I have for you is with Girl You Know It's True. After hearing about your music background, this just seems like the perfect role for you, perfect opportunity. Were you able to audition, or is there an open audition, or did your agent call you and be like, I got something for you? Like, did it just tell us how it worked? Did it fall in your lap, or did you have to go audition for it?
Also a long story. Now, I told you I get crazy when I really want something, right?
Yeah, come on with it.
I start breaking all the rules. June 30th.
Okay.
June 30th, 2021. I just finished filming Almost Fly. I'm like, okay, God, what's next? Well, what's next? What do you want me to do? What's happening? And I look and see the Rolling Stone magazine article saying, hey, they're making a movie about the life of Milli Vanilli. I immediately knew I'm supposed to be in this movie. I'm supposed to be in this film. I immediately knew. Now, a part of it had to do with when I first started coming back and forth to Germany, I had some interaction with the original singers, in particular, Charles Shaw, the rapper who rapped on Girl, You Know It's True. Mm-hmm. So I had a little interaction with him. So he told me a little bit more about the history and all of that. But when I saw that article, I just knew it was mine. So this is me. You see those memes about any guy or girl, and the calculations are just floating in the air, and they're like trying to figure it out. That was me. I was Tom Cruise on the Minority Report, and I was like, okay, I was going to do everything to get in this movie. Let me tell you what, I found out that the studio who's producing the movie is the same studio that did Almost Fly.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So that was a good lead in. And let me tell you something. If you show up prepared, you do good work, you're on time, you be good to your other castmates and all of the casting crew that's working on the film. The German film industry is a small industry, and word gets around and you start to build a reputation. So I think a little bit that helped. So I not only went to my agent and begged her to get me an audition, I didn't stop there, because when I first signed my record deal back in 2012, I thought I was on my way. You know, there was a Germany's Next Top Model and Promi girl, and she wanted to be a singer, and they needed a rapper. So I participated in that project, and I thought we were on our way. We had a management, and this is what I did. Yeah, I sat back like I made it, and like the management was just going to do everything to make my dream come true. Like I didn't have to do something to support myself as well. Now, you don't want to step on their toes, but you need to do things to facilitate your own dream, because at the end of the day, it's your dream. So I asked my manager, but then I emailed the studio. I'm doing everything. And then I'm doing my calculations. Okay, so the production company, Wiedemann and Berg, by the way, and Leonin Studios, they're based in Munich. Oh, the Munich Film Festival is coming up. Oh man, my schedule is busy. I only have 2 days to be there. In those 2 days, maybe if I go down there, I'm going to run into somebody that has to do with that film. So here we go. I book my ticket. I get down there. It's still post-COVID time, 2021. And so I get to the accreditation office to get my badge and my pass and everything. And they say, it's not ready yet, but you can't stay in here because of the pandemic. You have to wait outside. I sit on the ground. They tell me to wait for 15 minutes. I sit on the ground, and here comes by, walking randomly, someone said, hey, Sam. It was the cinematographer from Almost Fly.
Wow.
So he walks by, and I say, hey, how are you doing, Christian? And he says he's doing fine. And what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I said, well, I'm here because to be honest with you, I want to meet anybody that has anything to do with this movie that I really want to be in. Girl, you know it's true. He said, oh, well, I know the director, Simon. I've known him for years, and I'm actually shooting a commercial with him in 2 weeks. Give me your number. I'll put your name in the hat. Later on in that conversation, I asked him again, what are you doing here? Are you here for the festival? He said, no, I just Googled nearest place to take a corona test. Wow. And it was near his house.
Wow.
So it was in the same building as I was getting my accreditation for the festival.
Man, look at God.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, I ain't gonna, don't make me double back to the Almost Fly story. So I can tell you how God worked for me there. But that's been my life. You know, people don't want you to mention God too many times or like that, or your religion or your beliefs. But faith is everything to me, no matter what you believe, who you believe in. Faith is everything to me, to believe in a higher power, to believe in God, because I've seen him work too many times in my life. So
absolutely.
I every chance I get, okay, I'm going to speak his name. I'm going to give it up to him, because it's not me. Definitely not me. So you guys know, you all know what's up. So that's what happened. Yeah, exactly. And let me give you one more part to that story.
Yes, sir.
So There was this, let's just say the Brad Pitt of Germany. There's a guy by the name of Matthias Schweighöfer, right? He played Frank Farian in the movie.
Okay.
And on one day during the pandemic, this was before I even heard about Girl, You Know It's True. One day during the pandemic, early 2021, no. It was late 2021 in October. I'm walking down the street, and this was after seeing him in Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder,
Gotcha.
for Netflix. I became a fan immediately. Now, I didn't know about his previous work in Germany. I didn't know what he meant to the Germans. I just saw him in that project and said, "This guy's funny. He's German. What?" And so I became a fan. I'm walking down the street one day. I see this billboard for his next project that he directed, which was a continuation of Army of the Dead, called Army of Thieves. And I'm like, "What? They shot that? Dang, I should have been in it. I wish I had been in that." And I look up at a billboard with him and the cast up there and his face up there. I never told him this story, by the way. Maybe he'll hear it on this. I said, and I might have been a little tipsy that day. I said, "I'm gonna work with you one day." 2 weeks later, I get the audition for Girl, You Know It's True.
Yo,
Didn't know he was in the film.
wow.
Didn't know he was in the film until the following, what was it, February or March, when I went to the first meeting with the director and to do a wardrobe fitting, hair and makeup and all of that. And you see this wall where the other actors in the movie have tried on their costumes. And I look on the wall, and next to Milli and Vanilli, I see Matthias Schweighöfer. And then I'm like, there you go again. So that's just a little backstory on how I got into the movie.
What they call it, the power of speaking things into existence.
Exactly.
You got a gift. Now speak $1 million into my bank account. You got that talent. I need that.
It's done. It's already done.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have faith in you and God. So
yes, sir.
Hey, y'all keep going the way you're going, automatic, because I told you I really enjoyed you guys' review. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the back and forth between you two, because you were still on the fence a little bit. But my guy Jamal, he was I think he was quite kind of like me, with the same age. So it's like the songs is one thing that he mentioned, but on the other hand, you never saw anything like that. What? The hair, the outfits, the energy back and forth. So they may have been the butt of many jokes. They may have been controversial in a lot of things, but you can't deny that what they brought was unique. It was different during that time. So, they borrowed, but
of course. Hey, but the more you look at music history, all of the greats borrowed. A lot of the popular records that came out of the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s are remakes of classic records that might have came out in the 40s and 50s. Like, that's just idiocracy that people get into because they don't know the music business. But the thing, as a child, I feel like when you're a child, you're more pure. The only thing you connect to things that touch you on an energy level, on an emotional level. So as a kid, I didn't have cable. I didn't have access to music videos. So most of the time, all I had was the radio station and my tape deck. So I was just in love with the music and what was being said and the energy of the music. That meant everything to me at that time. I mean, and it's still the same way. To me, music is not about who is the person. And all right, I like the music because he's popular. No, if it could be somebody with 200 plays on it. If I press play and I like it, I'm going to keep playing that joint over and over and over and over, because if I like it, if it makes me feel something, I want to continue to feel it. And it's the same way with film and television. That's the reason why I love doing this. And I love doing this with him, by the way. But I love doing it because the pleasure I get, no matter how big or small the film is, if it's a good story, it's a good story. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
it's special when you have great actors that really put into it, and you can see them you can lose yourself in the character. Like we're losing ourselves in the film. So like it's super important in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When
And like you said, as a kid, you don't immediately understand what's going on. You're in love with the music, but then later on you grow up and you'd be like, oh,
wow.
And then you figure out, what the scandal was really all about.
Right. And that's what makes stories like this so important. Is like when you start getting the backstory, it has more of an impact on you because you're like, wow, first of all, the amount of people involved to make this happen, number one. How it could have not happened on so many different times because this person or that person but the stars aligning in such a way where it does happen, something so special comes out of it, makes the story even more like, like I mean, I knew for a few years now, but like I met personally Kevin Liles. Kevin Liles was one of the writers in the group from Baltimore. Because
that's something I didn't know until I read the script, and I no clue.
I didn't know until I saw the movie.
When he did that, I was like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we just know the executive. We know the executive, Kevin Liles, right?
Being executive. So like when he's like, man, do your research, he gets mad at me, you know what I mean? Which is cool. And I started, oh shit, the mnemonic. So like when the film comes out and it's just like, wow, like, you know what I mean? It's so amazing how things kind of come together and it's just a special moment. So
and that's why I appreciate you guys spreading the word because people think they know. Right. Watch the film because there's some things that you don't know about the story that happened.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Look, I bet both of y'all $20 a piece that when this shit's Netflix is going to be number one. I promise you, it's gonna
absolutely,
it's gonna be on Netflix or something, and it's gonna go nuts. The moment it hits one of those major streaming platforms, people are gonna be like, it's gonna be stories. You're gonna see a million reviews about it. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. But now
you manifested. But I appreciate it.
It's just that good. And I mean, tell you, Netflix is that type of place where filmy documentary type of stuff goes and people will fall in love with it. People go nuts on it because Netflix isn't worried about, all right, is this a Hollywood hit? They'll be like, man, is this interesting? Like Tiger King and all these other crazy joints from America.
Hey, Netflix was Tubi before there was a Tubi. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I might get in trouble for saying that. But Netflix is like
space, brother.
Right. If it's entertaining, Netflix gonna put it up there.
There you go.
And that's why they get the numbers that they get because they don't mind taking chances on something different. Because if that don't work, look, we got 20 more right behind it here. Yeah. We'll give you a couple of days. Give the next person a couple of days and it goes. But anyway, back to you. All right, so you booked the film. What? Tell me about that day, man. You get the phone call. Come on, man. Is there a dance? Do y'all go out for steaks? What's going on, brother? You got to tell me about that. I need to know how it felt.
Oh, I'm trying to answer this without embarrassing myself.
Give me my Instagram clip. You know what I'm saying?
My agent is a woman of very few words, right? And so her okay means good, her good means great, her great means excellent, right? So you have to put a little bit on it. And she it's the same way that I got into her agency. She instead of telling me I got into the agency, she will because we had this meeting. The same friend that got me in the commercial agency got me the meeting with this TV and film agent, Caprice, and then we met in a cafe. And she looked at my and this is where faith comes in. She looks at my headshot and resume, which my resume at that time was a blank piece of paper. I hadn't done really anything. And she said, I should call you 1975 because nobody has used a headshot and resume format like this since 1975. Update your stuff, and maybe in 2 weeks, I will give you a chance. I'll let you know whether you'll be in my agency or not. 2 weeks passed. Didn't hear anything. I wrote her this letter about how passionate I was about acting this and that and the other, and how bad I wanted. Hey, and if I don't give you a 6-month turnaround, you can drop me like a bad habit. You know, little did I know the pandemic was right around the corner, right? When this happened. And so I did all of that to get into the agency, and that's why you got to have faith at that point. So she let me into the agency. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The original question was, because I'm on a long story.
When you got the part for Girl You Know It's True,
yes.
How did you handle that?
So I gave you a pattern for how she is. Right. So how I got in the agency is she didn't tell me I was in the agency. She sends me a casting. And I write her back, wait a minute, before I do this casting, does this mean I'm in the agency? Because I need to know. Yes, you're in the agency. Get that casting back to me on time. Okay, so then here comes the call for Girl You Know It's True. She calls me. They just want to know your availability for this, that, and this, and this. And she's asking me questions that makes it seem like I'm actually in. I got it. Like, and then I have to ask her again, Caprice, does this mean I got the part? Yes, it looks that way. When I tell you, I dropped the phone, fell to my knees. This is going to be very embarrassing. And I cried, bro. I cried because it felt like something broke in my life at that point. I could literally feel a break or a shift in my life at that point. And I was so grateful and humbled by that moment. And that was the call. That was the call. It sent me to my knees. And I still want to have that same level of gratefulness throughout my career. I never want to get desensitized to the moment of getting the call for the next project and the next project. Because all projects are different, right? And the next movie is not just the next movie. It's a different, unique story that you get to tell, and different and unique and special collaborators you get to work with. So I hope I keep that same level of excitement.
Brother.
Not embarrassing at all.
What you talking about? You know what I mean? Especially we in our 40s. Like it's like what happens a lot in your 40s. You talking with your 40s, get you a little different. You like,
Yeah, and it's different because they say, you know, maybe a little up in age, it's too late for you to break through.
Right.
Nah. You know,
there's awesome. Yeah, a lot of greats didn't break through until their 40s and 50s.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So, like, you know what I mean? And you still at the beginning, bro. You still look 25. What you doing? You ain't a lick of gray hair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Thank you, good sir.
Man,
I appreciate it, but we all like that. I mean, like I said, they say black don't crack. I did a musical back in the day, and some of the Asian cast members, when I said black don't crack, they said, well, Asian don't raisin. I said, all right, okay. I ain't gonna argue with you. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so
yeah.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I'm thankful. That's all. Nothing.
Okay, absolutely. So in the film, in Girl You Know Sure, you played John Davis, who was responsible for half of the vocals behind the scenes of Milli Vanilli, for those that don't know. Can you tell me, it shows here on Google that he passed away in May of 2021. When you were playing this part and you were getting ready for this role, was there any added pressure from his family or people that were connected to him to make sure he was represented a certain way?
Actually, I put the pressure on myself because at the director's meeting that I spoke of, I asked Simon, I said, because I did my research and I knew one of his daughters were still alive and representing him. Mm-hmm. And so I asked Simon, is it okay if I reach out to the family and talk to his daughter, Jasmine Davis, and just get some background on who her father was and just get to know more intimately? Because during the audition, you only got a little bit to go on, nothing about a description of the character. You have to look all of that stuff up, whatever Google can provide for you. And you have to play the scene as best as you feel like he would have felt in that situation. Okay, so Simon says that's an excellent idea, and he said I'll put you in touch with Jasmine. And I didn't know if he would go through with that. But he did. That following Monday, I got an email from Jasmine, and man, our first conversation must have lasted 3 or 4 hours over Zoom. She graciously gave me everything I needed on her father, from pictures no one had seen before, videos, podcasts, and then we met in person in Nuremberg. That's a city in Germany where her father had settled in, and that's where he died. And from that first meeting, we were like family. Like she's my sister for real. Like we always in contact, and she's always checking on me. And she will get on me if I'm going too far left. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that gave me what I needed, and so after listening to everything, accumulating, because one of my favorite actors, Sterling K. Brown, plays. I got to know him from watching, not personally, but from watching This Is Us. He said, "Okay, acting is 90% research and 10% acting." I took it to heart, because although I'm not formally educated in a university, so to speak, it's still like you're doing a college project. You have to do your research. You have to write some more, memorize. Like you're an investigative reporter and find out everything you need to know about that person. And sadly, one of the things that I got to know about John Davis is that he did die during the pandemic in 2021 due to COVID. I believe it's public knowledge. And he, thank you. I won't get in trouble there. And he was looking very much forward to the telling of their story. But he didn't make it. But I shared a beautiful moment with his daughter and his daughter's daughter at the premiere. We had 2 premieres here in Germany, one in Munich and one in Berlin. And I sat there with them and I watched the film with them, and I could see the emotion on their faces. And one beautiful thing Jasmine told me is, she said, "You were the right one to play my father." And when she said that, that's all you wanted to. That's the gratification or the validation that she wanted, that you did the family justice, you know. And so that was a beautiful moment for me. She will always be my family. Yeah.
Respect.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfectly said.
Absolutely. Yeah. That for the fact that you took it upon yourself to make that connection, I commend you for that, because some people they just go by whatever is in front of them, and they feel like they can get the emotion themselves based on what they think they know. And I respect you for taking the opportunity to reach out and connect with the family and trying to gain all you can to not only give the best performance you can, but to respect the person that you're playing and connect with family. I respect you for that wholeheartedly.
Yes, definitely. Their blessing meant everything for me to go give 100% in what I was doing. I feel like I'm honoring them. I'm honoring the legacy of John Davis, who was a phenomenal singer, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I did some research on that as well.
Yes, he was a phenomenal singer who did beautiful things. Like I think at the very hospital, if I'm not mistaken, that he passed in, he would go there and sing for the patients. Man, he was that kind of guy. He sang for the patients during COVID, when they had COVID, to make them feel better. I mean, that's John Davis. He's a giving and very talented, but a humble person. He's not an arrogant soul at all. And according to his daughter, one of the best things about him was his laugh. He had a king's laugh. So,
all right.
One more thing people didn't know: he played the bass, he played the lead guitar. He was a genius on those things too.
He was a real musician.
Real musician.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question is this, because I've got to bounce real quick. Came out of nowhere, but anyway, what do you have coming up? You know what I mean? Because obviously God got you, bro. Like if anybody, God got anybody, He got you. He done picked you special. So what's coming up next that we can look forward to from you?
Well, I've been doing some auditions for Hollywood projects here and there, and there's some things that I can't speak about, but I may be in a well, there's a German comedic actor here that's very big, so I'm in negotiations to be a part of his project. His name is Bully Herbig, and he has a movie that he did a long time ago, 13 years ago, and they're finally doing a sequel to it. It's called Das Kanu des Manitou. And hopefully I will, everything will work out and I will have the opportunity to play in that and to play in German. I mean, for the first time on Girl, You Know It's True, I was able to do my own voiceovers in German for the German audience because they overdubbed. We shot the movie 90% in English, but we had to overdub the movie in German, and it was also overdubbed in 8 different languages. So that's the next project that I'm looking forward to. But I would like more opportunities in Hollywood. I mean, and also in Black Hollywood, to be more specific, because man, I've been watching Fight Night lately. Sam Jackson, Kevin Hart, Taraji P. Henson, Terrence Howard.
It's phenomenal.
So I would like to do more projects in Hollywood, and you know, of course, the dream is to one day work with the phenomenal, the great King Denzel Washington. That would be a great honor for me, man.
All right.
So,
all right. Well, you know you got to come on home, man. You got to come on back. Because look, Atlanta's the new Hollywood, baby. You come down. All you got to do, come down the road. Come down.
Bro.
You can
That's some kind of Wi-Fi link between us because it's been heavy on my mind.
Hey, come on with it, baby. Come on with it.
But,
I'll get you.
But let me tell you how it happened. What's that?
I'll get you a chicken box. You know what I mean? We got you, baby. We got you.
Let me tell you how it happens, though. When you know you need to make that move, and they say sometimes success is found outside of your comfort zone. Germany start getting real comfortable, and all these opportunities start coming in, and you know something in your gut tells you maybe you need to spend a little bit more time in the U.S. because you see how Black Hollywood is happening in Atlanta. Not just Black Hollywood, there are other opportunities for Black actors in other Hollywood productions. They're getting more and more people are getting interested in telling our stories, and so I would like to be a part of that, man. And something is calling me home, if not to move there. I need to spend more time there. My mother is a little up in age, so I would like to be close to her and spend some more time with her as well. So yeah, it's on my mind. You got it. I would just like to say kudos to all the cast and the crew. Thank everybody. Simon, our director, my agent Caprice Crawford, cinematographer Joe Hine, the producers at Leonin Studios, Vitaminberg, Vertical Entertainment, Voltage Pictures, everybody. This ain't an Oscar speech, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to be part of this project.
That's the best way to do it, sir. That's the best way to do it.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to.
We're good. We're about to bring it to a close anyway. So let's just go ahead. Like, listen, Samuel, I appreciate you. This is a great interview. You gave us a lot of insight, and just so you know, I'm gonna be telling everybody going forward, you're my best friend, and I know you. So when I see you on
let's go
future projects, I'm like, that's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we go way back.
I follow you on Instagram, man. You family, man. Y'all family.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna make sure we keep pushing people to watch Girl, You Know It's True. Anything you got coming, we're gonna keep pushing that. And I'm just looking forward to seeing you be great, brother. And we got some stuff cooking on our own. We may be giving you a call to collaborate soon.
Oh, I saw you a director. I saw that. I like I said, I do my research, brother. So
yes, sir.
Kudos to you. Kudos to you on Hypocrisy and any other projects you got coming out.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
I greatly appreciate that. All right,
sir.
so JS1, bring it to a close, sir.
All right. I just want to say myself, thank you, brother. I DM'd you and I got into your comments and I just put it out there after you put the comment out there, and thank you so much just for the opportunity to sit with you, brother. Like it meant a lot. You know, it was super exciting to see you reply back, and like, you know what I'm saying, this is just a dream come true for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Take
people.
care.
If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, you know what I'm saying, and follow this man on social media. Come on, man, give your Instagram out. Come on.
All right. My Instagram is Samuel S. Franklin Official, not to be confused with Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel S. Franklin, and yeah, follow me there. I'm same thing on Twitter, Facebook, every outlet. Yep.
Oh, look, we catch y'all next time. Real reviews, Legacy, Lingo JS1 and Supplier, and obviously Samuel S. Franklin. We out of here. Peace.
Real reviews, live and unapologetic.